Yes, people, what is going on? We are back yet again, McLaren Fan TV, MFTV, off the heels of a 1-2. Mr. Oscar Piastri with the 3-peat, and I'm joined with my co-host, Mahad from the Pit Stop Fracker. What's going on, brother?
It's a wonderful world.
What
and McLaren saving it, guys. Two 1-2s in one weekend. First team to...
Oh, exactly. 2 1-2s in one weekend, guys. It doesn't get much better than this. It doesn't get much better than this. Do you know the highlight of my weekend? I'll jump into it straight away, yeah? Or even the headline or whatever. Not even Saudi Arabian. But yeah, the headline for me, my wife said to me, McLaren always win, don't they? Imagine we're watching the race. We're watching the race, yeah? She's kind of like half-heartedly watching it because she knows I'm just watching it, you know, for the love of the sport and, you know, for us to come podcast-wise and whatever. And she's like, rah, like what, McLaren again? And I looked at her and I said, you have no idea what you're talking about. I said to her, you have no idea what you're talking about. I said to her, this is the... I said to her, like...
You're talking like you're Man United in 2001, bro. Like...
Brother, I couldn't believe it, bro. When she said that to me, yeah, it was insulting. But at the same time, it was like, we've come so far, man. Like, she just thinks this is what happens.
You always win.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy to think that she thinks this is what we do. I was like, you know what?
Well, in 2025, this is what we do.
This is what we're doing. Because she's like, what, Piastri again? That's when you know. Bro, she does not give a monkeys about Formula One, nor sport for that matter. She said Piastri again. I said, you know what? I said, all right, cool. Okay, cool.
Do you know what's so funny, yeah? We finished 37 seconds ahead of the next car. We were long gone, yeah,
gone.
And even that, we would do Dalian behind Verstappen
for a little piece as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Oscar was behind Verstappen for a while. Norris was behind Verstappen for. Imagine they didn't do that. It might have been like 50 seconds. Could have been a minute.
I love that they showed we were, I think, 30 seconds behind Verstappen when he won it 2 years ago. And to think that now
we were 2 laps down. We were 2 laps down in 2023.
Yeah. Was it Oscar that said it? Oscar said, yeah, you know, I remember getting lapped twice. That's when I said, yo. That's when I was like, hey,
that's changed.
Times have changed, you know? And it's just, you do think to yourself, what? Because Brundle tried to make it seem as simple as like, you know, they've changed personnel, they've done this, and all the things are just sticking together. And you just sort of like I don't think people can't fathom what we've done. We realized what was going on when the changes were being made. We realized, oh snap, this is a new revolution in this team. Something new is happening here. Something is cooking. And one by one, like even when it came to the podium parade kind of thing, and I'm seeing Singh, I'm seeing a couple of the guys, and I'm just like, look, there's one Don, there's another Don, there's another Don. Like these guys have just been piling it up.
A lot of these guys have been there from the jump. That's the thing. But when Stella came in, I remember all the hoopla. Oh, we're leaving side, or this is the end of the road, so on and so on. Stella came in. The first 3 months, all the stuff that he was saying and all the stuff that was happening was perfect. Even though on track it was awful. Beginning of 2023, things were heading in the right direction, and this is the solid platform. We kept on talking about this has to be the right platform. We have built the right foundations and platforms to do what we're doing right now.
We have.
Right now, we're looking at 5 wins out of 6. We're the first team to do 1-2 twice in a weekend. We're winning by 30 seconds, both cars. Not one car, both cars.
Yeah. And
this is what it looks like.
And
this is once, Mercedes 2014.
And to be exactly. Because for once, both drivers cooked on the same weekend to an extent, at least to some extent. Do you know what I mean? We're not ruining situations to a degree where we're like, oh, you know, it's a P1, P4, or it's a P1, P3, or P2, P8. Like we're actually talking about 1-2s both in the sprint and in the main race.
And it was never in jeopardy.
And it was never in doubt, was it? It was never in doubt. It was never in doubt. Guys, if you're new here, this is the fan channel for all McLaren fans worldwide. Yeah, whether you're in the UK, whether you're from Woking, or whether you're from across the world. If you're in Miami, you know, you tell us what it was like watching it there live and direct. But yeah, we've been here a little while now, and we've sat here suffered. Watching
2022, we started this.
2020 in the depths of hell, we started this one, right? In the depths of hell, and now we've arrived. Yeah, we arrived, and the thing is, of course, look, I'm looking at this season now where I'm thinking, Oscar must be sitting there thinking, if I don't win this championship, it's an L at this stage.
If neither driver don't win this championship, it's an L.
Yeah. Oh, good.
We've got 2 shots now. It's getting to the point now where these guys, they know they just need to build up a gap to the rest, right? These type of races are really demoralizing for other teams, not for us. Other teams will look at that and be like, we should just look at 2026, forget about it.
Forget about it, yeah.
And if we can force teams to be like that, right?
Yeah.
Then it's a problem for them.
Yeah.
Because then it's literally the team can just say, Oscar Lando, go race, see who wins the championship. You have to kind of demoralize the opposition, right? The problem is we're only doing it on race day. We're not doing it in qualifying. And qualifying is giving them, we're opening the door because we're letting Antonelli grab a pole. We're letting Max grab a pole. And it's going to be seen as, and I don't want to be, these are achievements for those guys. They're stringing it together. They're getting the best out of the car to get the pole, right?
Yeah.
But it's the inability of our drivers to put it all together because of how difficult this car is to drive on.
That is true.
So I don't want to, obviously I give them credit for putting those laps together. Antonelli, Verstappen, everybody that's got poles this year.
Yeah.
But we're leaving the door ajar in qualifying. And because we were in a race today in Miami where we could actually overtake and we looked superior pace-wise, it wasn't too much of an issue. But imagine it's Monaco.
Yeah. Imola.
Imagine it's a track that you can't really overtake.
Yeah.
This is why we can't leave the door ajar. We're giving them hope. That makes sense.
Exactly. No, exactly. The next 2 races are pivotal because Imola and Monaco back to back. Those are 2 races you don't want to be qualifying P3, 4, or 5. You need to be on that front row of the grid.
Imola, I think Imola, you could, if we had a pace difference like how we did yesterday in Imola, you could force it on the straight.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon you could overtake somebody. But Monaco, forget about it.
Yeah.
You could be 2 seconds faster than the other guy. It's not a minute.
Monaco, you can barely fit 2 cars side by side. So
exactly,
especially the size of these cars now.
So it's we're leaving the door ajar there, but pure performance. This car, we're talking about it. Now we're talking about, before we kept on saying since 2012, all the steps. McLaren haven't done this since 2012. You know what we're saying now? Since 1998.
Yeah,
man. How crazy we was in 1998. We're beating those stats now.
What? Hakkinen
3 wins in a row. Right.
Oh, it's glorious. Do you know?
I don't remember us having 5 wins out of 6.
Bro, I completely missed that Oscar's got 3 in a row. Like I completely missed that. I don't know why. It's just maybe because there's been a few gaps. I don't know, but like.
And do you know what's so funny? We'll talk about what happened with Lando.
Yeah.
But let's say that didn't happen with Lando. Then Lando wins. We got 2 shots every race. One of these guys is going to win, right?
2 bites of the cherry, yeah. 2 bites of the cherry for sure.
And look, you're not even clocking that we got a 3-peat.
Yeah, it's only literally like as the coverage finished, and it was like the first time since Hakkinen in '98. I'm thinking, wait, what? First of all, 2 things: we've never had 3 wins in a row since '98. That's one shock. But secondly, I was like, I didn't even deep that Oscar's got 3 wins in a row. Like that didn't even cross my mind too much.
Do you know what's so funny? No. That's not even in season as well. The Hakkinen one. That was the last race of 1997 and the first 2 races of 1998.
Are you serious?
So even in that season, he didn't get 3 in a row.
Oh my god!
So that must be like that's going to be first time since I don't know Senna.
Wow.
Probably.
Wow.
That McLaren have won 3 races in a row in a season.
Man, this is a glorious time, people. We got to drink this in. We've got to drink this in while we can. There's loads of you in the chat right now. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Let's get this as far as possible. And as we read out your comments before we get into the nitty gritty and the nuts and bolts of this. Shout out to Adam, says, evening lads, another win for Oscar. Not a perfect weekend, but excellent in race. Lando did very well and positive to see him progress in his driving and maybe won the race had Max not shoved him off. We'll definitely get into that. Shout out to Zach. Sadly, can't be here for the stream today. This was my first time going to a race, and our boys delivered.
Lit.
Oh,
shout out Zach. Hope you enjoyed yourself.
Tell us, man. Tell us how it was. Seats front row. Seats first row into turn 11. Oh, lovely. Got to see all the overtakes. Don't let them tell you Miami sucks. I hear that, Zach. I hear that. Thank you for giving us that insight, man. I love that. Love that. Stefan says, good evening, lads. Another dominant weekend for our boys. Being a McLaren fan feels so sweet right now. Of course, the orange hearts as well. We love the papaya hearts. You done though. Shout out to Dion. Says, good afternoon, gents. What a great weekend from our boys. I only see it getting more dominant as we progress into the heat of the summer. We have a tactical advantage of being better with degradation. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Ella, what's going on? Says, hi guys. Was our first time getting both 1-2s in a sprint and in the main race? If it was, we are breaking our sprint weekend curse. Yes, indeed we are.
You know what's so funny? I know we'll go to the next one, but do you know how we used to dread to go to Miami? Do you remember?
I remember those days very well. I remember dreading sprints as well. Yeah, I remember dreading a sprint and a Miami Grand Prix. Yeah, absolutely. Drea says, hello, everyone. I'm finally back. Was sorry to miss the stream a couple of times. What a weekend. Over 30 seconds. Absolutely. Stefano says, what a time for Oscar. 3 in a row. That boy is getting streaky. Love to see it. Major weekend for the whole team. It absolutely was. Yeah, we love it all. Shout out to you, Steph, as well. Hello, guys. Another great weekend for the team. 1-2 in the sprint and race. The world constructors gap being 100 plus is very nice. Guys, I told you about the constructors. I told you weeks into the first start of the season. I said the constructors is well and truly done. But yeah, shout out to you, Steph. What's up, everyone? Says Amon. He says, finally, 1-2 without drama. That's what I want. I mean, there was still a little hint of drama, but I get your point for sure. Human Fly says, evening. Shout out to Nom as well, saying, hello, Papaya Army. You don't know what's going on. Z saying 105 points ahead in the constructors. We'll toast to that for sure. We'll toast to that. But yeah, it's been a crazy one. Shout out to Richard as well. Big up yourselves from the pit stop.
Richard, tell us how Aston Martin's doing, mate.
Oh, behind the Hulk? Behind the Hulk?
I don't know what they're
in that
place. I don't know what they're doing. I just did some research. The last time we won 3 in a row in a season is 1991 when he won 4 in a row.
Right.
Senna.
Man, that is RIP as well. Was it his birthday recently?
No, I think it's the anniversary.
Was it actually the anniversary? Yeah. Shout out to Senna as well, man. But yeah, that's crazy. Richard says, you know why I'm here. Obviously, big Piastri man. Here to celebrate that 3-peat. I mean, look, let's start things off with Mr. Lando Norris. Okay. Yeah. Now I didn't include the sprints in these comments here, but qualified P2, finished the race P2. Overall, like, what was your take on the whole Lando Norris of it all this weekend and the situation with Max Verstappen?
I think if we just talk about the overall weekend, I think Norris looked back on it in terms of pace. Like, he's getting to grips with it. There's still that little issue in terms of Q3, putting it all together. Managed to win the sprint race. Obviously, safety car helped out, but his pace was phenomenal in the race. I don't think he's had issues regarding pace. In the only race that he had where he looked kind of off the boil was Bahrain. But I think apart from that, I think within the race he's looked really, really good. But yeah, just qualifying in the sprint, qualifying in the race, just couldn't get over the line and get that pole. But in the race itself, I'm sick of Max Verstappen.
You're done with him.
Because what are we doing here?
What are we doing here, though?
What are we doing here? Like, do you know what's so funny? Yeah, I looked at the onboard of Antonelli, yeah, and even if Lando Norris backed out, he's losing 3 positions because he would have to because the way Max went over cross, yeah. If he backed out rather than going off, he would have lost even more positions because he would lose momentum. Everybody else would be going quicker.
Yeah.
So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't in that situation. And the way these regulations are at this moment in time, yeah, is you will get pushed off if you're on the outside.
Yeah.
The man on the outside has no rights anymore.
Clearly not. No, he doesn't have any.
So if you're the guy on the inside and you're about to get overtaken, all you got to do to defend is just stay on the inside.
Just hold
and just coast and then coast that guy out. Right?
Seems like it's allowed, yeah.
Obviously, the second Verstappen's put his foot on the throttle, you know what I mean? He had a little whoop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that pushed Norris into the only puddle that I saw on the track on the outside, which is ridiculous. Right?
Yeah.
And if we're talking about his race of just taking over Max Verstappen and sailing off into the distance, that was over from there. Right? Because you're behind Sainz, you're behind Russell, behind Antonelli, you're behind Piastri. Josh, people you will overtake now. And you're behind Max.
Yeah.
When you was on the front row. You did the job in qualifying. You was halfway there. Considering the pace advantage, maybe don't go for it. But at the end of the day, you can't tell a race driver don't go for it.
No, you can't.
There's no way. The gap's there. This guy was all over the gap in turn 1, turn 2. Like Verstappen was having a howler. He was all over the place, right? So you have to take advantage. But the way Verstappen did what he did, he's basically saying you're not going to pass me, man. And I think this is, I don't know, but I think it's a respect thing as well. I don't think on track Verstappen respects this guy whatsoever.
Oh,
at all.
Is that what you're
I think
thinking?
he knows every move. He knows he's not interested. He's like, I'm not letting Lando pass me, regardless. Even if it was like for 15th place, he doesn't care. He's got to that point now.
Because if it was Oscar, you think it wouldn't be the same thing.
I just don't think with Oscar. I just don't think he's raced Oscar enough. I can count on one hand the amount of times Max Verstappen and Oscar's raced each other.
Who would Max respect though? Because even when I think back to Lewis and Hamilton, Lewis and Max, they haven't. That kind of shenanigan was going on
every single time, even if it's now. Remember that 2024 Hungary? You don't respect Hamilton, Wilson.
No, he doesn't. It's very
So he's always gonna be on a Vio thing. He doesn't know about these, man. I've seen Verstappen race. I've seen Verstappen race Sainz. He gets done all the time because they don't race as often. But once he knows everything that you're gonna do, it's a wrap. With Oscar, the last 2 times Oscar, apart from the opening lap in Jeddah, when it was just like that was inside out who reached the apex first. That's not even racing. The times that Oscar's come up to the back of Verstappen this season was Australia. This guy just Verstappen just locked up and went to Narnia for no reason. Right, and made a mistake. And then this time he locked up, he went in too deep because he was trying to defend too much, and made a mistake again. So Oscar's not even attempting to do the overtake. Oscar's just like, let me just be in his mirrors and cause some pressure.
Show him I'm there, innit?
He's not even forcing it or anything like that. He's just like, let me just cause some issues here. Let me just show him my presence, and you're gonna force him into a mistake. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Well, at this point in time, Lando has to just go back to the drawing board. Obviously, his race was compromised completely in the first corner, right? He lost all those positions and did fantastically. Look at the move on Russell. Look at all he did fantastic to weave through the pack, yeah. And he caught up with those guys when Piastri and Max battled. When Piastri finally took Max, Lando was right there. Right? And Piastri was right there. The first time that Lando tried to overtake him into turn 1, and he was forced off, right?
Yeah.
He was coasted off. Oscar was only 1.6 ahead of those men.
Yeah.
All them shenanigans, he ended up building an 8.6 second gap.
It's mad. It's actually mad. It's actually crazy.
So from there, so the race is lost there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. I think it was quite clear that Lando was quicker than Oscar in this race, but it don't matter.
No, it doesn't matter
unless you execute where you need to execute, right? But do you know what's so funny about Lando? It is just this guy that he has an issue with.
Yeah.
If it's any other driver, he's going to overtake him and he's going to deal with it, the situation.
Yeah.
George is known as a tough customer or whatever. This guy's overtaking him in the most random places ever. Right?
Yeah.
But he does not. He needs to look at game tape. He's got to do something. Because he said over the winter, oh yeah, I know how to race Max Verstappen. Where's the evidence?
And the scary, like, that's the scary thing, isn't it? We know that Lando is quicker than Oscar. We know that, but the delivery is what matters. Like, it doesn't matter how fast you are. If you're not delivering on the table, that's it. At some point, everyone's going to have a question and say, hang on a minute, who's the better driver, or who's the quicker driver?
You got to do the overtake. These are the clinical moments. You can't just think, unless you're going to slap it on P1 and sail off into the distance every race, which would benefit Lando, which you could probably do and execute. The problem right now is him getting it on the pole. I don't think he's got a problem getting off the line and sending off to the distance. He could do that.
Yeah.
But now, when you're in those situations, of adversity where you have to get through the pack, he can do all of that against all these guys. He's got the pace. He's driving with anger. He got where he needs to get to. But this can't be a brick wall if Max again. It's going to hamper you. You actually lost the race because of Max Verstappen. You can say he can say in the media whatever. Oh yeah, Max wasn't being smart. He lost the podium because because of what he was doing. Brother, you lost the win.
That's more. Yeah, that's what he should care about more. And even the fact that his engineer was telling him how Oscar done Max. That's when you know you're losing credibility when that kind of talk is coming your way.
Oscar, Will told Lando Oscar did this because Oscar didn't even do anything. He just said, just stay there, be present there. He's not gonna in that pace differential. There is no way Max is defending for 50 laps. There's absolutely no way he's defending for 50 laps.
No,
not on that track. He's going to make a mistake. Oscar stood behind him for 6-7 laps. He barely attacked him. He's just like, oh, let me just chill. I'll make my presence known, but I'm not going to full send it. And he made a mistake.
Yeah.
So that's what he's basically saying. He's saying, fuck his brakes. He needs to, he got confidence on the brakes like that. Do that. Right? And Oscar was quite smart. He forced him into braking really, really late, and then he messed it up. And he went in too deep. So Lando's has to go back to the drawing board. There's no way, man. There's no way this can't keep going on, bro. And you know what's so funny about this, right? You're letting a guy, he's not even involved. There was not a circumstance that Max was going to win this race. He's not even involved.
Nah.
It's a 1v1 versus Oscar.
The pace was not there for them, was it? Really? For the race distance.
This is the equivalent of, like, when like a backmarker ruins your race. That's what's happening right now in that particular scenario. So if you want to win the race, you got to execute these things, man. And like you just said, being fast doesn't matter anymore. It's about racecraft. It's about execution. These are the margins, though.
Yeah, it's true. Look, you guys are commenting a lot regarding this Lando situation. I think first of all, before we get into the I just want to say that, you know what, we've Lando's had his criticisms over the last couple of weeks, right? If not basically the whole season, because of what we know of him. We know what standards he sets. We know what some of his weaknesses are, and we're not seeing, like, we would think that Lando right now would be cementing his potential that we've known him to have all these years long, and we've still not got enough of that from Lando this season anyway. And then on top of that, Oscar's come into the game where he's setting his standards, he's doing what he's doing, and he's got, I mean, bro, it's actually crazy that Oscar Piastri has more race wins than Lando Norris. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable.
Considering what's happened over the last year and a half of where we had a very good car, or around a year, I think, from Miami. No, obviously not.
Like,
I'm shocked. You was, especially last year, you was given the opportunity to win more races than Oscar. Obviously, one of those wins you had to give to Oscar because of Hungary. Yeah. But apart from that, just the way things are going down, I think, to be positive about it, Lando's struggling this year, obviously with the car, the way he handles, the way the brakes are just completely numb, and how it's impacting the way he drives. Because he drives very different to Oscar, right? Mm-hmm. And it's impacting him, and it's impacting both of them in terms of qualifying and trying to slap it on pole, right?
Yeah.
But he's saving graces that the results ain't even that bad.
Because he's forever having to recover. And also the fact that the car is the best on the grid.
Yeah, so his results are not even that bad. It's not like last year if you make a mistake where you're finished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's like you're P2, mate. You mistakes happened or whatever, or issues happened. And to be fair, that the opening situation is not his fault, man. I don't care. Max Verstappen needs a penalty. I don't know why he's not got a penalty.
I think
even if Max Verstappen had a penalty, I feel that situation still happens, man. Where it's not like Max Verstappen all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, I've got 5 seconds, I might as well let Lando by. He's still that situation of not getting by him still gonna happen.
I think the whole lap 1, turn 1 incident is a load of nonsense. You know, like when they don't give because that's the only reason they don't give that penalty.
That is a penalty, though.
It's a penalty.
That's more of a penalty than what happened with Oscar in Jeddah.
100%. 100%. You know, it's definitely a penalty. And I honestly, I did find it because Anthony Davidson gave a view from Antonelli's on board of Max kind of losing the car, right? And the car kind of, and it wasn't because when you first watch it on first view, I thought, Max has nudged Norris to keep him out. But then, as you've mentioned earlier, you know, he didn't have any control of his car, and his car, you know, the rear.
That's still dangerous.
It's dangerous. Don't get me wrong. I'm not even saying it's an accident as such. I'm just saying like it's Max knows what he was doing. He's been here before. He knows exactly where he planted that car. And even if it did lose a bit of, you know, rear stability, he knows that himself. Do you know what I mean? He knows what his car is. He knows what it's capable of. And of course, you know, he's put the car exactly where he wanted it to go. And you know, the fact that Max didn't get a penalty, I thought was scandalous. But you know, this whole lap 1, turn 1 nonsense shenanigan. Because somebody else got nothing, no further action. It was the similar situation this weekend. And I was there like, really? Like, is that what we're just doing now? So like turn 1, we can just do what we want, basically.
It's kind of like Oscar and Antonelli in the sprint race at the start.
In the sprint, yeah. And even Antonelli, you know, like Antonelli kind of learned, okay, this is Formula 1. Because he was like, I think he was given the information about Max's penalty. And then he was given the information. And so he asked, what about Piastri? And he goes, yeah, no, nothing. And he goes, okay, good to know. It was like that was like something that he just sort of learned.
Yeah, but obviously he's learning that this is Formula 1, that the guy on the outside has no rights. So he's gonna know now. Antonelli's gonna know now that if he's on the inside and someone's gonna try to overtake him around the outside, or he's overtaking someone from the inside, he's gonna just push him off because it's calm. It's not a problem.
Yeah. It's a lot, man. Shout out to Nom says, I saw Christian even said that Max shouldn't have fought the McLaren so hard because it cost him 3rd place. Literally, there was no way we had the pace to keep us.
He's doing it out of principle because he's basically said, I'm not letting Lando overtake me. Not Lando. That's what he's basically doing. People need to see this. Like when people are like, oh yeah, they're friends, he's violating him on track. He's violating him.
Yeah, at some point, you got.
I've seen him let other drivers just go by. I've seen it.
He's got to turn the clock at some stage, man.
Okay, I understand Max fighting Oscar, because that is for P1. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to defend your spot when you're P1, right?
Yeah.
When Lando got there, that was just out of principle.
I'm just gonna.
Surely he must have seen. Max should have seen Piastri. Oh my days, he's just dropped 5 seconds on my head in like 3 laps. Clearly, these McLarens are faster than me. He was doing that out of principle, man. And he's basically saying, "Look, I'm not gonna. After last year, I'm not letting this guy overtake me. No chance."
I'm not letting.
Let me see what this guy's learned. He's not learned anything. You can't tell me that if you're the biggest Lando fan right now, you can't tell me he went away over the winter and said, "Oh yeah, nah, to race Max." I've not seen any evidence
yet. Nothing suggests.
And he's not. And Max ain't gonna go away. Do you know what's so funny? I'm quite confident Lando can race Oscar. I'm very confident that he can race Oscar. It'll be clean. It will be fair. They both know how to race each other. But you can't have this mental block with just one driver.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah. Had it been him and Oscar, I think you're right. I think Lando will probably get the better of him. There's no
jeopardy. And the thing is with Lando, there's no jeopardy. The only jeopardy is that you might not be seen as the number one driver in the team. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're second in the championship. You finished on the podium every race apart from one race, and that race you finished fourth. The guy's still calling in a huge amount of points. He's doing what he needs to do, right? This is more, the onus is on him. This is what do you want for your championship?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else on the line. There's nothing else on the line apart from your personal accolade of winning the championship, right?
1,000%.
Because what you're doing, this ain't a Daniel Ricciardo situation. He's not finishing ninth. No. On pure pace. And then the team's got to think, we've got to make a decision there. We can't have this guy in the team, whatever. It's not like that.
Yeah.
Because if people want to consider Lando as a number two, this is one of the best performing number twos I've ever seen. Look at the numbers he's putting up.
Yeah.
As a number two, obviously he's going through these trials and tribulations and all this stuff going on. The guy still ends up on the podium.
Yeah. It is one of the best number twos we've seen in a very.
And this is somebody that's to his own standards is not performing, and he's still doing that. So imagine when he does perform. So there's hope there, but time is ticking. This guy's got the person that you're fighting for a championship against. Because right now, I know you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, constructors wrapped. Not right. Right. This is for his own personal need. Like if Lando wants to win the championship, he's got to nip this in the bud. He's got to string some wins together. He's got to punch back. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like I said, this is 2 weekends now where Oscar hasn't been the quicker driver and he's won the race. That's how you win championships.
Absolutely, certainly.
It's the days that you haven't turned up and you're winning. They got qualified for. We'll talk about Oscar. That qualifying is not good.
Although
you criticize Lando's quality all you want and not getting involved. That's bad.
Yeah. P4, yeah.
He went under the radar. That's bad. He was slow. He was slower than he was in Q2.
I will say though, I don't remember the last time he finished outside of that. He always qualifies. He always qualifies top three. I think. Do you know what I mean?
Top three,
yeah. But even like,
so he's done well so far, but
I feel like it's been a while since top four.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. But letting Antonelli out qualify is noted. But to be fair, I'm noticing these things and all that. I'm not really too fussed because at the end of the day, if we look at the landscape of things, we left with 1-2 in the sprint, we left with 1-2 in the race, we left with maximum points.
1,000%.
So for me personally, as a McLaren fan, this is perfect. You guys are performing. If you're McLaren management, this is what we want.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the engineers, whatever, this is what we want. There's no concerns.
No, none.
This is what we want every weekend. It's perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the onus is on the driver. Do you want this? Who wants that driver's championship? You do your thing.
Yeah. You guys string it out.
The team's already done their thing. The team supplied you with your car. The car's a rocket ship. You might not get many of these in your life. You might not get many of these in your life. So the ball's in the driver's court. Okay, do you want it? Go do your thing.
Yeah. Because next season this could be all different when these new regs kick in. We could end up being P9 again. Do you know what I mean? Like you just don't know what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
You don't know. Right, let me get through these comments on Lando Norris before we move on to Oscar. Drea says, I think Lando was unlucky and there wasn't much he could have done differently. I felt for him. It would have done him some good to win this weekend, and he deserved that. Oscar did great, but it was a bit lucky. Yeah, I think that's fair enough, Drea, to be honest. It would have given him a whole world of good. Richard said Lando needs to learn some new post moves, to be honest. Took way too long to get him out of the way. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, man, because Max is sensational at defending. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. Jean says Max and Oscar got similar driving because Oscar has a lot of Schumacher influence in his driving style. Dion says the only driver Max doesn't drive like he has no respect for is Leclerc. He is ruthless with everyone else. Z says they're always near each other on track. Lando just needs to be better against Max, 100%. Ella says his racing IQ falls off when he battles with Max. He needs to counter him. Max will be side by side in the next races. Yeah, absolutely. He's really got to.
You can't avoid him.
You can't avoid him for sure. They also told Oscar last race that how the overtaking was done. But anyway, the racing against Max is off. Hope he gets that in order. At least he is getting more comfortable with the car.
That's a positive.
Which is big, by the way. That's huge. That's definitely huge. So, you know, John McLaren says if Lando continues like this, how long before Zach pulls the trigger? Whoa. Whoa. John, that's it. That's peak. I'm not going to lie.
Is there is there anything higher than 1-2 in the championship?
You know, it's very true. It's very true. But yeah. So
that's asinine. I want you to delete that comment. You are insane. You're talking like he's Daniel Ricciardo. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, for sure. Z says, see how much fun it is to have two strong drivers. Absolutely. Yeah, Oscar Piastri. I mean, start off with that quali, by the way, because like you said, we can't let it go amiss. before we praise him and we get into the well done and everything and all that kind of shenanigan. Yeah, I mean, P4 is weird. That was
weird, and it's like, I think Russell's a bit too close to him as well, like in P5. And obviously he's made a fantastic step in qualifying, and he did a good job. But I just don't think you can go into Q3. I think it's not as reported. It's at a lesser extent because obviously Piastri's got pole positions and stuff like that. But there's times here and there where Oscar's struggling in qualifying as well. Like the fact that he lost the rhythm, like going slower than he was in Q2 is crazy.
Yeah, well, how does that work? The car's lighter for number one, and then number two, you know, you've got the track is evolving. You're used to the track now. You're used to the laps. Okay, it was a sprint weekend, so therefore not much practice. But excuse me, slower than your Q2. That's a concern. That's a concern.
So, you know, obviously he's going to look back on that. I think. Well, like you probably think in the beginning of the morning of race day, like, Lando's ahead of me. If he just overtakes Max, then I'm probably not going to catch this guy. So you probably thought this win would be out the window. But John, come on.
Love that, John.
John, you know what's so funny? Piastri and Coulthard. No, Piastri and Norris are not better than Hakkinen and Coulthard right now.
Oh.
And you're talking about Senna Prost. Let's have some shame. Let's have some shame. They're not even better than Hakkinen and Coulthard. You're talking about Senna Prost.
I'll tell
that to his face right now. Let's not disrespect Hakkinen and Coulthard. Let's not disrespect Senna and Prost. These guys are not there yet. You give them time.
They're not. I love that, John. Love that. But yeah, Richard says, you know, he messed up in sector 1. That's what he did, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's just like you had two shots at it, obviously. But to be fair, like he's been really good in qualifying. So you're allowed an off session, but like could have cost him. It could have cost him more. But considering what the pace advantage was on the Sunday, it's kind of inconsequential, right? He was regardless. He was going to finish second or first. Yeah,
I mean, you know, he's really stamping his authority here, Oscar, isn't he? I mean, to win 3 races in a row, that's some statement.
Yeah, of course.
That's putting the world on notice. Like, yo, I mean, he's even doing dances. What was that? What was that thing?
He's doing the Justin Jefferson, man, Minnesota Vikings, bro. He jumped in the McLaren. Oscar drove him round.
He drove him
round. Jefferson was like, "If you win, you got to do the griddy."
Must say you got to do the griddy.
It's the worst griddy I've seen. Oscar, don't do that again. We love you, but don't do it again. It's a bad griddy. I can't lie. Obviously, it's all in fun, but.
And obviously, he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want. He lost the bet. He didn't know he was gonna win. He said in an interview, like, "Oh shit, I've got to do it now. He said in the in-lap after the win, he was like, "Oh, I've got to do this gritty now.
I got to do this freaking gritty. You don't want no part of it." Yeah. I mean, look, Oscar's really cementing himself in this championship, man. He's leading it.
Yeah, for Oscar now, it's just about building a gap.
Mate, what?
He just needs to build a gap. Right now, I don't know what the gap is. I think his name is like 16 points or
16, yeah. Points? 16.
So
points.
He just needs to build a gap. 16 is nothing.
16 is nothing. 16 is nothing.
You need to get to like 50.
On a real, yeah. Scale of 1 to 10. Oscar winning this championship from where we stand right now. What are the chances? 10 being the highest.
At this position right now, 7.
Damn, that's high. That's high. I never would have thought. I kid you not.
Actually, no, 6, because I have to knock one off because we don't know what's happening with Barcelona. The technical director.
Oh, what the new thingy? I genuinely, I never envisioned that Oscar could win this championship.
I told you, you would look baffled when I told you. Remember the first pod we did this year, and I said, you said, who do you think is going to win? I said Oscar. I just got a feeling, and you were shocked.
Yeah, I never thought it would be him.
Because I said if he does not make the step, he's never making the step.
Richard 11. Reincarnation says 5.
Hey, Richard does this TD, man. Newcastle. Huh? This guy winning. This guy is not winning the championship if the Barcelona TD nukes back out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, people are saying, look, Spain.
Man, are finishing P5, and if they're going to win the championship, it's not happening, bro. If that happens, if that Barcelona TD happens, and if it goes bad for us, that makes sense. But Stella said it ain't going to go bad for us, so I ain't worried.
Yeah, Stella says, we should be cool, we should be calm. People mentioned it in the comments earlier that they don't think even what happens after Barcelona, it should be actually pretty fine. I honestly, you're right. I never thought it would be him. I just didn't think. Like, I always thought Oscar would be, like, it's a bit like Sainz Leclerc, right? If I was to say which Ferrari driver would have won the championship, I would have said Leclerc would have, but Sainz would have been good value for money.
I've seen Sainz beat this guy in over a year, and it don't, because at the end of the day, sometimes pace don't matter, man.
Yeah.
Good luck. So, situations happen. Like when Sainz beat Leclerc, that wasn't just pure pace. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It
just happens sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like you take your chances, and you do what you need to do. At the end of the day, like
we'll have to wait.
If you're a gambling man and you do statistics, it's the guy that's leading right now is the more likely to win the championship, right? But the gap is too marginal. If Oscar has one DNF and Lando wins that race, then it switches. If Lando has one DNF and Oscar wins the race, then the gap grows bigger, right? The margins are quite thin at the moment.
They are thin.
That's why I said if the gap needs to be 50, yeah. But that Spain TD, if we end up where Lando and Oscar finish in P6, P7, better hold on to P2, P3 in championship, let alone P1.
Yeah.
Right, I'm saying. So hopefully the Spain TD doesn't work. We're all good. And if that's the case, then it'll probably go down to the last part of the season, and there's going to be peaks and troughs in the performance. Right, I'm yet to see Piastri string that little, the Mexico, Qatar, Brazil. I've yet to see him string results together and that at all. All his performances have not been that good in the past 2 years in that little run. And also you have to take into account this is a bad Lando. This is not the same Lando. This is, if you must be lying to yourself if you think this is Lando's level of performance.
Yeah, and that's
probably already seen that this is a bad level of performance compared to what he was doing last year, right?
Yeah.
So obviously there'll be an uptick in results, but for right now, if you're a betting man, you have to say I'd probably say give it a 6 out of 10 right now in terms of confidence.
And I think that's.
But I have very much confidence that the title's going to McLaren. If that TD does not work, we're going to be celebrating a World Drivers' Championship regardless.
What people fail to realize, those TDs can happen, and you know what it will do? It will affect another team that didn't realize this is going to affect them as well long term. That's what I'm hoping for.
Mercedes' wing is looking brazy.
Bro, when Albon questioned, Albon was questioning, yo, is that car legal? Like, what's going on here? He was like, this is too damn low for my liking. Like, even he was just like, yeah. Nom says, look, maybe Mercedes might close in. I mean, Ferrari will come back at some point. Will they? Will they?
I've got something there, Peter. I think Ferrari might be dead for the year.
Bro, Ferrari are finished. Ferrari F is for finished. Ferrari finished.
They finished 1 minute behind McLaren. They were 14 points behind us they took us to do or die in AD for the championship, and now they're 1 minute behind us. Have you ever heard anything like this, guys?
Oh my god!
The TD didn't even take them out. I don't even understand what's going on.
It's too jokes.
It's not like 2022 that made sense. Like the TD finished them, they were quick, but I don't even know what happened. I don't get it.
To be fair to them, they will always have Monza and Monaco. This is probably right. It's probably
True.
Right. But yeah,
I want Monza and Monaco this year.
Oh, we need it,
Please.
man. Steffler says they changed their whole car for no reason. Oh, that man made me laugh for years, bro. That man was swinging. Hamilton literally went to knock someone out. I said, yeah, you go have a cup of tea while you think of this decision. Have a glass.
Do you want me to let science through as well? Hamilton has some classic radios this weekend.
Yeah, some good radios this weekend.
But I'm keeping one eye, guys. I'm keeping one eye on Williams. I've got a single eye on them,
bro.
They got the same engine as us. Yeah, they're quick out of nowhere. Why are they quick?
I did a video.
Tell me, I don't even know if they brought up. Why are they quick?
I did a video.
They were quicker than Ferrari. And they were quicker than Antonelli. What's going on here?
They were cooking.
So I'm not keeping an eye. I'm keeping an eye on them for next year,
bro. I did
next regs. They got the same engine as us. We might be beefing them, so keep an eye out, guys.
We'll keep an eye out on them. But them men have stopped finishing. They finished on this car, by the way. Apparently, whether you believe that or not.
Focusing on 26. That's why you have to look at them for next year. Next year, have an eye on Williams. Have an eye on Mercedes.
Bro, ever since James Vowles walked in the building, he said 26. He came in 24, mate. He said 26. That was the first thing he said. At the start of the season, Carlos Sainz said that they will be finishing quicker than Ferrari. That's what he said at the start of the season.
You're lying.
Bro, that's what Sainz said. Sainz said the target. The target is to beat Ferrari this year. And I said, nah, he's smoking budge. And I literally done a video on it. I was like, wow, this was both James Vowles and Sainz's like expectation. Yeah. They were like, they're hoping to beat Ferrari this season. And I sat there like, yeah, well, okay, whatever. Made a video about it. I was like, this is hilarious. That man cleaned Ferrari this weekend.
That's crazy.
They're getting Q3 appearances.
That's crazy. And do you know what's so funny? They're firmly in the top 5 now. Like in terms of
mate. I don't know.
And if they've already switched to 2026, that's why we have to. Let's not go in blind, guys.
Keep your eyes peeled. Yeah,
they might be competing with us.
But mate, sensational stuff from Oscar Piastri.
Absolutely fantastic. 3 in a row.
3 in a row. And also as well, credit to Lando Norris as well, what he did in the sprint. You know what I mean? We've got 2 1-2s. We mix and match. You know what I mean? You take your pick. Let me get your votes on the pit crew. What do you think of them out of 10?
Pit crew, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
They executed a double stack. Yeah. Remember, they did a double stack.
What, under the virtual safe?
They did a double stack, and both of them were rapid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we had the fastest pit stop,
but they were good enough.
So we had the second fastest pit stop and the 5th fastest pit stop in a double stack, guys. That's a 10.
That is a 10.
That's not like, one had 1 lap and then the other guy pitted the next lap. They both pitted under the, was it virtual safety car?
Virtual, yeah.
2.25 for Piastri. 2.38 for Norris. These men are on fire.
They were on fire. They were on fire this weekend.
No other 2 teams are within the top 5. Only us.
Yeah. Oscar's race was first class, says Drea. Fortunate with Max and Lando, but what? Flawless. But then flawless. Other than that, basically flawless. Pit crew perfect. 10 out of 10.
Beautiful.
Everyone's saying 10.
Superb.
Absolutely.
Let's buy more champagne bottles.
For sure. Shout out to Dion, man. You're an absolute legend. Yeah. Come on, guys. You know, hit the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Absolutely. Share the channel. Tell McLaren fans across the world.
If you're watching this, like it, subscribe, of course.
100%. Yeah. Pit crew for me.
You know the fastest pit stop? Sauber.
Yeah, bro. I saw. Was it a 2-2?
2-2.
I see a Sauber come out with a 2-2 zing. I said, "Whoa!"
Jonathan Wheatley whipped these guys into shape. He left Red Bull. Red Bull had the fastest pit crew. He left. He went to Sauber. Now Sauber's the fastest. I'm like, whoa! He's whipping them guys into shape, man.
I saw this lime green flash through my screen with a 2-2. I said, "What is going on there?" I said, "Yeah, no problem."
They're actually fourth in the standing. Right now, they've got the fourth most points overall for the season in pit crew. They've got more than Red Bull. Red Bull 6. That's the impact of Jonathan Wheatley. Red Bull used to win at a canter.
They did.
Every year it's top award. Now they're 6.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
One man. I would be putting out my CV if I'm Jonathan Wheatley.
You got to.
Left one team, they fell off.
You've got to.
Another team that had the worst pit stops ever last year.
Yeah. No, you got to. You got to. Strategist, what are we saying?
Strategist. 1 out of 10. There was no issues.
There's no issues. I mean, they had to pit at the right time, which they did. Because I was nervous. I was nervous that safety car was going to catch Oscar or one of us off.
I think there's could be some questions regarding the rain in the sprint race, but at the end of the day, we left for 2-1 1-2.
Like Nom says, look, 9 just for the sprint race. The safety car saved them because they left Lando out instead of.
Yeah, Lando could have finished like 3rd or 4th if it would have been not good for him.
100%, 100%. I guess besides that, I'm happy with a 9. You know what I mean?
I'll say a 9.
You know, the drivers executed the race really. You know, the strategist didn't really have to do much in those circumstances as well. And no
designers.
No, say again.
For the first time, we have to give an award to the designers.
All right, let's talk about it. Let me get
1 million out of 10. Every single engineer and designer, people that work in the factory, people that work at composites, people that make the parts, you guys get 1 million out of 10.
Oh, 1,000%.
This car is superb.
They created a beast among I don't even know what to call it. They have the designers, because it's a nasty car, isn't it? It's
the
nasty.
Designers, the engineers, everybody.
Ooh.
We even slapped an upgrade on it. People are like, we're bringing upgrades. Imola, we're bringing upgrades. Barcelona. I don't want to hear no rumors about upgrades. We're good.
Just slap it at Barcelona, mate.
Just bring out a random race. Don't even matter. Bring it Monaco. Who cares?
Yeah. Strategist 9 out of 10. 9 as well. They almost effed up Lando's sprint. Yeah, I mean, look.
He ended up winning it. So, right.
Designer is 1,000,000% out of 10 for sure.
Yep.
For sure. Okay, drivers. Let's start off with Lando Norris out of 10.
Out of 10, I'll give him a 7. He's had some bad ratings these last two races. But I'm going to give him a 7. His pace was insane.
I'm going to give him an 8.
He seems more on top of the guy.
I'm going to give him an 8 because he won the sprint. And
he won the sprint. I'll give him 8.
He won the sprint. And 6'5"? It's outrageous behavior, Sean.
Man left the week. He left the weekend, qualified P3, won the sprint, qualified P2 on the front row ahead of his teammate, and finished second in the race. Outrageous behavior.
That's outrageous, yeah.
Considering what we saw from Lando in the last one race, you could give him a 6.5 on, like, I don't know, Bahrain or Saudi. Not for this one, mate.
Exactly. 7.5 says Stefan. Lando 8. Nom says 8 for Lando. 7.5 says Ella. At least his quali was decent.
Yeah, I know, because the qualifying has been embarrassing these last couple of weeks.
It has been. An 8 for Lando Norris. Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8. You're giving him a 7?
I'll give him 7.5.
7.5. Okay, Oscar Piastri. For me, 8.5 for Oscar. Interesting.
What are you giving for Oscar?
I was going to give him a 9 because the reason we come here and do this podcast is to win races. Okay, Oscar won the race. Like, that's just the bottom line of it. Yeah. He's got 3 race wins in a row. Okay, the qualifying stank.
Yeah, Oscar's getting a 9.
You know, he got P2 in the sprint. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, we've let the team off a little bit because Antonelli getting pole position in the sprint.
That's unacceptable. I know everybody was clapping, everybody was unacceptable. I wanted to slap Lando Oscar on the backside. That why you let some 18-year-old kid get a pole? You man, all right?
I sat there.
We're not creating fairy tales for other drivers. Let's not do this.
I sat there in disbelief, man. I said, "What's going on here? Like, let it be Russell." You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna let him,
I said it's unacceptable. I said it's even the qualifier. You know what's so funny? I might not just watch. For my own mental health, I might not watch qualifying.
I was happy for him, but I was just like, no, guys.
It's like a Make-A-Wish Foundation. We're just gonna give these guys their dream. Oh my God, we're starting a ball. Who's next? Bloody Bortolotto. We're just letting it, guys. You get pole. Well, let's stop.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, majority are saying 9 for Oscar Piastri. Absolutely. Lando 8.5 says Mustafa. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, guys, that wraps up this week's McLaren Fan TV live stream post race. 3-peat for Oscar Piastri. And you guys better drink this in. You better drink this in while we still can right now.
Thank you, everybody at McLaren. You guys are amazing. You're doing, this is the stuff of dreams for us fans.
Exactly. Shout out to the McLaren crew because you guys have smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. We can smile again, and we look forward to Imola. We'll be back after the race in Imola in 2 weeks' time. And until then, people, we are out. Peace.
Peace.